So this is Bronxie. She came to me with a fear of the car. She doesn't like the car, and she definitely does not like to jump into the car, as you can see here. So this is our first session. I recorded this entire process. Be proud of me, because I almost never get a chance to record the entire training process of anything. But I am using some high-value rewards here, like cheese. So for all my clients, when you hear me say that the reason we're starting by working with kibble is to be able to have something extra special to pull out when we're working on hard situations like cheese and stuff. This is what I'm talking about. So I'm able to use cheese as a higher reward item in this scenario. I'm just being super patient with her, kind of rewarding any kind of step into the car she's willing to make, even coming near it. And you can see she's quite fearful. You'll also notice in this first session here, she has a star mark collar on, but typically I'm not working her on a star mark collar. She has that on mostly for like my safety and her safety as well, just because if I'm climbing in and out of the car and she's pulling on that leash, I don't want her to pull me out and onto my face and potentially like her get off leash or something like that. So I'm just kind of rewarding her for being near the car, being near me in the car. I've gotten in the car to kind of help encourage her to come into it. Really, this is all about patience. I sped this session up a lot. This is a 27-minute video that I've sped up a bunch so that you're not having to watch the whole thing. But I do want to keep in, most of the footage, even though not much is happening, because I want you guys to see how long this does take, how patient you do have to be, and how we can kind of work with the dogs and we can kind of push them past their comfort zones without it being, an ASPCA commercial and it looks horrible and the dog's having a bad time and you're having a bad time and all of that. Because you can see, yes, she is nervous. She's shaking a little bit. It is pretty cold out too in this clip, so it's hard to tell if she's shaking out of, I don't want to go in the car, or shaking out of, it's cold out here. But I'm not dragging her into the car or anything like that. I'm letting her take her time and explore, but I'm also not letting her, not attempt to get in the car. So there she kind of freaked out and went into a down. I didn't get out of the car and comfort her or anything. I kept kind of encouraging her in. So I am kind of making her solve her own problem, but I'm not doing it in a way that's going to be, a bad time or traumatic or anything like that. So where we really got the breakthrough was here, where I picked her up and just set her in the car. I think she just doesn't realize like what size she is, or much about like how to control her space or her body, I guess. I think she's still like figuring out that she is not like a puppy anymore. So I'm kind of helping her out by picking her up and putting her in the car, letting her realize that when she gets in the car, there is a ton of cheese and pets and good times in there, just to help kind of encourage her up there and make it a positive experience. So at this point in the session, I decided we're just going to focus on loading into the back of the car first, just because it is a lot bigger. I also later on in several different sessions moved the car so that it's not on an incline. I think having this hill kind of made it a little bit more difficult for her because she's not jumping onto an even surface. But we kind of just spent some time focusing only on the back of the car, and just rewarding every little bit she'll give me, and then just kind of waiting for her to decide when it's time to jump into the car. And you can see in all of these clips, it's like a constant. Every single time she figures it out, we got it good. It's just every single session is like a new time of getting in the car for her. But as we practice, it's going to get easier and easier. Here we started working on the side door because she got really good with the back door. And we're just having her jump in and out, really. And the next sessions that you'll see, I'm going to speed them up more, just because this is the part where I really needed to talk over anything else. But the next sessions you'll see will just get progressively more and more towards our final picture. Bronxie's owners will be having a kennel in their car. They're going to be getting a Roughlin kennel. That way she can travel safely and everything. So you'll see in my later sessions, I'll start to add the kennel in. But for right now, I'm not worried about anything to do with the kennel, anything like that. We are just trying to create the car to be a good time. So now that we've had a ton of sessions just jumping in and out of the empty car, I've added in my Roughlin kennel. So I have an extra large kennel and I have it going horizontally behind the front two seats. So she has plenty of room to hop up in there. The kennel is always tricky for dogs to figure out because it's a small area. They're trying to jump in and they're trying to stop before they slide into the back of the kennel. So just like before, I found that picking her up helped her the most, to help her figure out that she needs to go in there. Now, this is not going to be our last session on the car, but this is the last session I'm going to be kind of recording, just because all of the interesting stuff is over and we have to just kind of do continuous reps and reconditioning of the car itself. It's not abnormal for dogs to be fearful of the car. It is usually usually the most of their experience going in the car is to go to the vet or the groomer, which is typically not places the dog wants to be. So we do have to kind of recondition that the car does mean fun trips to the park and stuff like that. and that it's less to worry about. And I do find with the kennel as well, the kennels tend to make it easier for dogs with anxiety in the car to travel, because it's less of something completely new and more like their bedroom on wheels, because they're used to being in the kennel at the house. So once they're in the car, in the kennel, they know it's the same thing as before. And those 2 lines down her back, I think, are from me petting her and getting her dusty. I just noticed that. But we're continuing to work on the car, working on reconditioning the car, and she's doing a really good job, and she's been doing great. She learns very quickly. I think she's just got some confidence to work up on, and I think through overcoming the car fear and working some other stuff, I think her confidence is going to continue to grow, and she's going to be a really nice little dog. I guess not so little, because I'm having to kind of deadlift her to pick her up, but she's doing a really great job. And I think once we get the confidence there, I think everything else is just going to really follow suit. So she's doing great, and I'm really proud of where she's gotten with the car so far.